What's up, everyone? It's Q from Retro Q Gaming, and I have done it. I'm pretty sure I have come up with an insanely genius idea. It's just this blew my mind when when it actually happened. I had to stop what I was doing and just think about it some more, and it just blew my mind. So, what idea did I come up with? Okay, well, I found in my mind, and it just makes perfect logical sense to me, that I have finally discovered a way to make the Joy-Con controllers for the Nintendo Switch not be fucking useless. I think I figured it out, and it's all so simple. It just, it's just so simple. So, how did I come up with this idea, and what is the idea? We'll get to that now in a minute. First off, if you have been following anything Nintendo Switch related I've been talking about since the actual launch of the Switch, ever since day one of the launch day of the Switch, that I've finally got my hands on the Joy-Con controllers and used them and fucking hated them and think they're one of the worst controller inputs there is in general. Second only to maybe the Nintendo 64 controller, depending on the control scheme, and the Wii U gamepad, which is fucking awful to use as well. But anyway, you know I don't like these, and even if you don't know that and you haven't seen any of the other videos where I slay at the minute, now you do know how much I hate those controllers. So, okay, now you get that idea. Or will you get an idea of my stance on how useless the controllers are? Now, let's think of how I got this idea. I'll tell you what the idea is now in a minute, but we're going to go on to how I got the idea. So I was just sitting here playing my new Nintendo 3DS XL, Monster Hunter Edition, blah blah blah. Monster Hunter 4 Edition, I want to put that out there, not the horrible looking Generations one. But I was playing that, and what was I playing? I was playing Pokemon. I was playing Pokemon Moon on my 3DS. And I was not particularly enjoying it too much. I think Sun and Moon are very overrated, and they're like the worst Pokemon games of this generation. When I say this generation, I mean of the 3DS generation, would say X and Y, Ruby and Sapphire, and now Sun and Moon. But I'm getting off topic. So I was playing it. I was going through, just catching some Pokemon, beating some trainers, beating some random Pokemon, as you do, between areas. For like all of 5 minutes, you actually get to do so before a big 20-minute cutscene and story kicks in and completely breaks your immersion of the game and makes you want to stop playing it. But yeah, off topic again. Now, it got me thinking. With some of the first person aspects of it, now when I say first person aspects, I mean you do one or two of the things in the game and it goes into first person. Sometimes it's controllable when, say, you're using like the camera, or sometimes it just happens to switch to first person for a second, like when you're throwing a Pokeball or something along those lines. Anyway, I think you probably know where this is going. So, what's the idea that I have? Okay? So the idea, it all hinges on, I'm going to have to put it off for 1 second again. It all hinges on the idea that we know Nintendo have come out and said there is a potential, and that they're not ruling it out, to have some sort of virtual reality involving the Switch. And we all know it's all hinging on power and how they can make it work, because obviously, you'd need a relatively large headset to slide it into and wear it on and do whatever. But it all hinges on Nintendo being able to do that with the Nintendo Switch. And it all hinges on the Joy-Con controllers being as sensitive and as accurate as they actually claim to be, with all their accelerometers and their gyroscopes and their fucking doodad mobiles, whatever there is. They say there's a million things in there. They're supposedly very advanced controllers, but they're basically useless. Now, one thing that is great about the Joy-Cons is the battery life. They're also very small, which is a thing, and it's a bad thing as well as a good thing. But if you were to combine, let's say, right, because the Nintendo Switch is the new proper home console for Nintendo. So let's just say Nintendo master their VR aspect with the Nintendo Switch. And then you factor in these controllers, the Joy-Cons, because when it comes to virtual reality, the battery life, the precision of the controllers. I kind of slurred it the first time I said it there. The precision of the controllers is extremely important. They're small, they're lightweight, so there's not going to be much fatigue or any extra crap on there. They both have buttons, or well, yeah, we'll just call them buttons to the extent, and they both have a thumbstick on them. And they're supposedly very accurate, blah blah blah, HD rumble, whatever you want to call it. So that's all important. Now, I've talked for 6 minutes without actually saying what my idea is. So, without further ado, because it's the actual mainline Nintendo home console replacing that piece of garbage that was the Wii U, just imagine for a second virtual reality main series first person, obviously it's first person because it's virtual reality, Pokemon. Boom! I can hear your mind exploding right now, just like mine did when I thought about it when I was playing Pokemon Moon. Because if you could give me an equivalent of a main series quality Pokemon game, excluding Sun and Moon, because like I said, they're the worst Pokemon games, in my opinion, in the main series in like 10 years. But you'll see my point. If you can give me one of the quality entry equivalents of Pokemon in virtual reality with these controllers, not only would it be absolutely amazing, but it would finally give me an actual use of the Joy-Cons, and to not hate the Joy-Cons, because they'd be useful and they'd be something I'd actually be dying to use, because I know if I was playing in virtual reality, I wouldn't be using my Pro Controller. I'd be using them. Most likely. Depends on how accurate and how great they actually are, if they live up to the hype. But to use them as an actual controller and an actual game style, no, I'm sticking with the Pro Controller. But they would be perfectly suited for something like virtual reality. Specifically, virtual reality Pokemon. That would blow my mind. Could you imagine? Imagine all the great parts and great moments, great battles, great set pieces, great exploration, great whatever you want to call it, from a good main series Pokemon game that's not Pokemon Sun or Moon, because I said an actual great one. So, could you imagine that? And yeah, I know there's probably a bunch of people just banging out paragraphs right now to tell me how I'm wrong and Pokemon Sun and Moon are the best games since the series ever launched. Feel free, but no, you're wrong. Anyway, moving on. So, I mean, that'd be crazy. Could you imagine just jumping on the back of a Lapras? And, you can see the Lapras's head in front of you as you're going to move, and you're looking out over this big ocean. You can see people and possibly even Pokemon. You see all the trainers in the distance swimming around, floating around, doing whatever. And then, of course, because you're in virtual reality, you can look around. That kind of shit would blow my mind. You walk into a cave, it's going to be nice and dark. Unless you use flash, then you can see a lot better. Let's see, what else is a good example? Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Wait a minute. Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby? Yeah, there we go. I think I got them mixed up for a second. Yeah, imagine you playing those, but you used Fly or Soar, whichever one it was, when the move where you actually physically fly around. Hell, you could even incorporate it into regular Fly from one of the other games. Because it's not in Sun and Moon, because they have that stupid Pokemon, whatever you want to call it. I can't even remember the name. I was using it a few minutes ago. I can't even remember the name of it. That one where you register certain Pokemon, like one of them runs really fast, and one of them flies to a town, and one of them charges, and one of them what's the word I'm looking for? Sniffs out and sleuths out hidden items. Yeah, they got rid of it for that shitty mechanic, but you get my point. All the old cool stuff that we know from Pokemon in VR first person, that would be a mind blow, mind boggle, mind whatever. Now, we all know there's the rumored Pokemon Stars coming out. Well, if the rumors are true, Pokemon Stars is going to be in development and it's going to probably be out the end of this year. And it's most likely going to be the mid game between Moon and Sun. You know how you had red and blue, and then in between it you had yellow? Allegedly, Star, or Stars, is going to be the kind of in-between game for Sun and Moon. So that could potentially be possible, and it's rumored to be on Nintendo Switch. Now, okay, chances are for the first game, obviously because virtual reality hasn't even happened at the moment for the Nintendo Switch, we all know that it could just do that. You know, they could just make what do we call it? They could just make a standard Pokemon game similar to Sun and Moon, but obviously slightly different because it's the in-between game. Make the graphics a little bit better. To be honest, right, the graphics are fine. Maybe up the texture resolution just a small bit, because some of the things in the 3DS games are dire, but you know, you've got a 240p screen, what do you expect? So hopefully, because obviously when you make textures, you make them at a bigger resolution and then you shrink them down. So chances are they already have those existing bigger and better assets, and they just need to shrink them down less to accommodate a 720p screen for the Nintendo Switch, or possibly even 900p or 1080p, depending on whatever version, or whatever, not version, whatever mode you decide to play it in, be it handheld, tabletop, or a TV. So the assets are there, so change the resolution, bump up the assets a little bit, and that's probably what Star is going to be. Now, 2 or 3 years down the line, let's say they do manage to perfect this VR thing to an extent. That would literally be a system seller. That would be a huge thing. Remember how big Pokemon Go was when it first came out? It's still pretty big to this day, albeit nowhere near as big as it used to be. But everyone will have you believe it's like, oh, Pokemon Go, that dead game that nobody plays anymore. It's still got something like 65 million active users. So, I mean, that can't be too bad. I mean, hell, I play Pokemon Go still. I've gotten back into it in the last couple of weeks. But imagine if you could get that in a mode or whatever. You know, maybe have it as an additional mode. Maybe a couple of years from now, when the new Pokemon game launches, you can play it in handheld mode, like a regular Pokemon game. You can play it in tabletop mode, like a regular Pokemon game. You can play it in TV mode, like a regular Pokemon game. Or you can play it in VR mode, like first-person virtual reality. Hell, you could probably even keep it docked. You could arguably even keep it docked and then have it as an alternate setting. It's like switch VR mode. Boom. Comes up on your TV. Sure, it'll still just basically put it into first person, but you get the idea. The principle of it would be the same. You could just look around and move around in first person. I think that'd be badass. Like, you'd have to move your hands and you'd move your Joy-Cons and all in like throwing motions to throw Pokeballs, and I'm sure they could work all sorts of stuff in it as well. Like, they could have your items be like a Dead Space style menu, and you could just point at them and menu would open, and then you could point at whatever else and just go like that. I mean, that's really, really exciting to me just to think of that, because I mean, VR has technically fizzled out a lot. I know in 2016 VR was the big hype, and I was a little bit onto it myself because I was more interested in the technology side of it and furthering technology rather than what it could actually offer, because you know, when you're not getting these big big first person AAA games and you're just getting crap like the PSVR has, you know, it's not really, it doesn't really seem viable. But if they could get something like this on it, like, it would be a system seller. It would be like the new Pokemon game, only on Nintendo Switch. Play a regular style Pokemon, the new Pokemon game, as you know and love, or don the Nintendo VR Switch Ditch headset and pick up your Joy-Cons and venture out in first person in virtual reality of the Kyoto Mijoto Kuboto region, because they have to come up with something similar that sounds, like the Johto or Kanto or whatever the fucking anything that's not the Aloha region, put it that way. God, I don't like those games. Well, the Sun and Moon ones. Anyway, moving away. So we finished up here because I've ranted way too much about this, because I've just been kind of all over the place with still in the zone of stuff going off. So it's been a rambly video. Let me know in the comment section below what you think a virtual reality Pokemon game would be like, or could be like, or how it could be done, what would need to happen, what you'd like to see in it. Would it make the Joy-Cons for you actually useful, or have you already banged out 6 paragraphs down below telling me that the Joy-Cons are the best, most revolutionary controllers since, well, since the Nintendo Entertainment System controller? But, you let me know all that anyway in the comment section below. Would you also buy a Nintendo Switch for a virtual reality Pokemon game? Would it be the system seller for you? Anyway, let me know all that in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. You can follow me on Twitter, details in the description below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the rest of the videos in my channel.